Are you thinking of studying abroad but also worried about your IELTS exam? You also have to think for words when you're speaking in English. If you're struggling with all this, then you have a problem in your vocabulary. So in today's video, I'll share 7 ways to improve your vocabulary. So without any further ado, let's go directly into the video. Your IELTS band score will be marked in according to 4 criteria. The first one is coherence and cohesion. The second one is fluency. The third one is lexical resources or vocabulary. And fourth one is grammar and grammatical range and accuracy. If you have mastered in all these 4 criteria, then your band score will be above 8. But if you have a problem in any of these criteria, then your band score may differ and may have a lower band score of 6.5. So in today's video, I will discuss the most important aspect of IELTS marking criteria, that is vocabulary. I will share 7 different ways to improve your vocabulary, starting with collect resources. Means whatever words you hear in day-to-day life, in your workplace or in your school or colleges, try to note that words, and then when you come back home, search those words in your dictionary or in Google. Try to understand the meaning of those words, and after that your work is to practice those words. Use those words in your day-to-day speaking or writing, in your mail or in your essays. Try to use those words. Try to insert that word in your day-to-day speaking. Then the second one is collecting the new words, new vocabulary to learn. Making a list of new vocabulary that you will learn. Suppose you have a list of vocabulary that you want to learn within a week. So try to make a word list for like that and try to practice those words. That will also help you to learn more new words and have more understanding about your English. The most important way of improving your vocabulary is reading newspapers. What happens is when you read newspaper, whether it is a regional newspaper or international newspaper, whatever you read, you have to read it in English. Whether anywhere part of the world, read it in English. Read an English newspaper. In that way, you will able to learn more words, because in newspaper there are several words and several types of words used in a newspaper. So it will be much more helpful for you if you read a newspaper every day, and it will be much more easier for you to gather more new words through reading newspapers. Read specialized sources. I mean to say, if you want to improve your vocabulary in a particular field, suppose you are an engineer, so you want to know more engineering words, new words regarding to it, that is related to engineering. So you have to read books that are related to engineers. Suppose you want to learn words regarding your geographical area, so you have to read books or newspaper or anything related to your geographical area. Subject you want to know, you have to read books according to those subjects. Then another important one is listening to English sources. Listening to English sources means listening to music or podcast is a different way of learning and also entertainment way of learning. Then the 6th one is practice by yourself. Is the most important one. We always try to learn new words but forget about practicing it. So it will be applicable only if you practice by yourself. Listening to music or podcast every day will not help you unless you practice it by yourself. So it is a daily job for you to practice at least a single word every day. So if you practice every day a single word, then by the end of the month you will have 30 new words. Then the 7th one is practice with others. After practicing with yourself, there will be many mistakes that you can't find it by yourself. So if you practice with someone else, then it will be much more helpful for you, because if you are practicing with someone who is native English speaker, then it will be much more clear for you whether you are wrong or right. Suppose you are learning new words every day, but your pronunciation is not correct. What's the benefit of learning new words every day? So you learn a word, try to understand its meaning, and also try to pronounce it very clearly. So these were 7 ways to improve your vocabulary. Now I'll share a few tips that can also be helpful for you to improve your vocabulary. The first one is remind yourself about the words that you have learned. Suppose you learn a single word today. So try to remind yourself about the word that you have learned and try to use that word as much as you can. Look up for words that you think you know. So there are many words that we know usually, but we forget to use them in our day-to-day life. So look up for those words that are getting extinct from your collection of words and use them frequently to remodel them with words, so that it can also be helpful for your new vocabulary. Because there are many materials that you can find in Google, many sources you can find new methods of ways of learning new words. So try to look for those words. See, I mentioned 7 ways to improve your vocabulary. All may not work for you. So you have to see which is better for you and which is helping you a lot. So it may be like reading newspaper is not your way of learning new words, it is not working for you. So you can listen to music or podcast that is working for you. So it is not that all 7 ways of learning these new words will be helpful or applicable to you. So try to find what is good for you, what is helping you. In that way it will be much more easier for you to learn. Okay, nowadays there are also many games for kids as well as for elders to play, like crossword or puzzle word. Those games are very helpful to learn new words as well as it is entertaining. So in both ways it will be helpful for you. So try to play those kind of games so to improve your words collection. The most important one, I would say that you should know the word root from where they are coming, because many English words that we know nowadays are either Greek or Latin. So you need to know the root of the word. It will be helpful for you to understand its meaning, and also you can use that word much more appropriately. So if you have learned something new from this video, like the video and subscribe the channel. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace.